and welcome back to the U Up Podcast. I'm Jordana Abraham.
And I am Jared Freed. It is so good to be back here with you, Jordana. How are you? What's going on? Big girls trip coming tomorrow.
Big girls trip.
Yes. How many days?
Thursday to Sunday.
Thursday to Sunday. You leave Thursday morning.
Come back Sunday morning.
Flying what?
8 a.m. No, 7:23 a.m.
What airline?
American Airlines.
American to
Cancun.
Cancun.
Yes.
And we're staying right in Cancun?
We're staying in Cancun, but it's like a little removed from Cancun. But
Okay.
it's in Cancun. It's
Elder
like
Cancun.
Yes, elder, nice, like
Elder
elegant
millennial
resort Cancun.
Cancun,
And
yeah.
if we like it, I'll do a little plug next week.
Love it. We got to wait to see if we like it.
Yes, I'm excited. It's big. 11 of us.
11 women.
10
That's a minion.
women and our friend Ian.
And her friend Ian?
Yes, our friend Ian.
Okay.
He's gay, if that helps. I don't know.
I don't know
I think it adds more proper context.
A little bit.
Yeah.
If one husband came, I'd be like, what's
right?
with
No,
this
it'd be
dude?
fucked up. No, he is part of our crew.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay.
So 10 women and 1 man.
Love it.
Yes.
And any plan? Is it the no plan? Are we on the? Is it an all inclusive?
Not an all inclusive.
Uh-oh.
We're doing dinners. The thing is, here's what we have planned. We have dinners planned because we're a huge group of people.
Right.
So you need reservations.
Throw the cards to the middle.
Yes.
Is everyone on board for credit cards to the middle for the big group dinner?
With 11 cards, we'll see.
11 cards.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
We'll see.
Lots to be discussed
We'll
on this
see.
trip.
Maybe we'll need a split wise. And then we're doing a boat day.
Love a boat day.
Love a boat day.
Boat day is a great tentpole item for any weekend trip.
I fucking love a boat. I think that is
Right.
like the place that I feel the most happy is on a boat.
Really?
Yes.
Drinking on a boat.
Drinking on a boat.
Is
like,
it a sunset cruise
like
or is it a
rosé
day?
on a boat? It's just no. It's I don't do sunset. I do like prime
Okay.
tanning hours boat day.
And that's when you really get tan on a boat.
Yeah.
Reflection from the
'Cause
water.
You, don't
You
even
know
feel
this.
it. There's wind.
Yes.
I love a boat. If I could think of like where would you like to be transported to be like the happiest version of yourself,
Mm-hmm.
it would be like a boat with like a cold bottle of wine.
Wow. And you're going to get that.
I'm excited.
I'm excited for you.
pumped.
This sounds like it's going to be a blast.
Yeah. What about? I mean, big weekend for you too.
While you're on the boat, I'll be at the wedding. My
Yes.
brother's wedding. It's already come and gone.
It's over now.
I'll talk
sure-
about. Well, I have to give a speech.
Yes. Do you have it ready?
So it's so. I'll tell.
You don't prepare speeches.
Well, I put that when it comes to like stand up and speeches, I'll do like bullet points. I know the story I want to tell. And the story I want to tell is that my brother and he lived on my couch while he was like figuring out what he was going to do next. I'm doing open mics and he wants to be in the NFL.
Okay.
And I remember there was a day where he was on my couch. It was after Superstorm Sandy.
Oh,
So Sandy was like kind of like
big historical moment.
It's
for the city, yes.
in the way in a much smaller way than the pandemic.
After
It's
Sandy or during Sandy?
So Sandy happens. His apartment gets like flooded because he was downtown with like roommates.
Okay.
He also just graduated grad school, and he's like, the next thing is coming, and I'm like, and so he's on my couch. He'd rather be on my couch than at home with my parents.
Okay,
I
that
think
makes sense.
right? Like
Yeah.
the last thing
Especially
he
at
wants.
that age, you want to be like doing things.
Right. And you don't want to be 23, 24, my mom going, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? So he stays on my couch. I'm in a junior 1-bedroom, which if you don't live in New York,
You got your own junior 1-bedroom.
they take a 1-bedroom and they just hack
They
it
take
in
a
half.
studio and they jump in.
Right.
it.
It's
Okay,
really,
yeah.
to call it 1-bedroom is so kind to the
But
side.
it sounds like it's bigger than your current apartment, though.
No.
So the same size, just
Same
with
size
a wall.
With a wall and
Okay.
2 people. Because
Yeah.
he's sleeping on my couch, telling me he wants to be an NFL GM. And I'm
Okay.
doing open mics, and he's telling me he wants to be an NFL
Right.
GM. I'm like, and I like had it.
Right.
I go, there's
2 freed failures.
right, just 2 losers. And I said to him, I go, Harry, there's too many dreams in this apartment.
That's very funny.
You got to get out of here. And I kick him out, and he ends up going on his serendipitous journey.
You kicked him out.
Kicked him out. I said,
Okay.
time to go. It's over.
Like
it was
that's
6
how you
months.
know. That's how you know you have a close relationship. The least close relationships are when you can't kick someone out.
Right,
If you
I
can
agree
kick
with
someone
that.
out, then you're close.
I said, time to go. It's been 6. It's not like I
Okay.
didn't give him time.
Right.
I remember one
Pack your
day,
shit up and get out.
get the fuck out.
Okay.
And I remember one day I would like leave to go like write at Starbucks and like send emails. Like I was
Right.
pretty motivated. And my brother is the motivated one.
Okay.
So that's like what's
So he
so
was going
strange.
through
He was
something.
going through something. And I would step over him to go to like Starbucks. And I was like, and I remember one day I was like,
Did you bring girls back in that?
girls.
Okay. Just stepping over him also?
Stepping over him bringing girl. Like it was
Wow.
like it was a mess. We're just
You
living
guys
in
were
our own
like,
feces.
what's it called? The Disgusting Brothers. What's that from?
The D-Bros.
I think it's from Succession. Yeah, Succession.
that from Succession?
Yeah,
Oh,
Succession.
okay. I don't know.
The Disgusting Brothers. That was you too.
With Tom and Greg. So
yes.
yeah, this is Harry and Jared, disgustings. So I remember one day I literally, because like I was being soft with him. Like I was like
How much older than him are you?
4 years.
Okay.
So we never were in high school together. Like when I
Right.
left high school, he came in.
That's like an interesting age gap where it's like you're kind of in different phases of life. You're not like you're not like 2 years apart where you're kind of doing the same thing, but you're not so much older that you know that much more.
Right. And our friends are our own.
Right.
They cross over,
no
but he's definitely younger brother. I'm definitely older brother.
Right.
So I remember one day I was like, how many minutes a day do you spend working on whatever you're working on? And I remember I go, don't feel weird.
You were the naggy wife.
I was the naggy wife. I go,
Okay.
don't feel weird. Just tell me the minutes. Minutes. Is it 50 minutes? Is it 10 minutes? I go, I don't need
How
to.
many minutes was it?
20.
20 minutes a day.
He goes 20 minutes a day. And I go,
least
what are
he's
you doing
honest.
No, we were having an honest talk.
Okay.
And I go, okay, just 20 minutes. Because I was trying to I had friends offering, can I get him an interview? And he would deny interviews.
Oh, wow.
Like he was going through, and he had a very specific
Well,
goal
then that's
in
when you
mind.
have to kick them out of the apartment. If they're denying interviews and they're on the couch, they've got to go.
I remember I was dating someone, they were like, their impression of my brother was like the opposite of what I knew my brother to be. They're
Right.
like, and to this day, I've talked to this person. They're like,
I know who you're talking about.
yeah. And they would always just be like, that's your brother, the do nothing loser. I'm like, it's not him at all.
whoa, yeah.
Right. So he ends up
Well,
moving.
that's another thing about families. Like, you can talk shit about your family. No
Right.
one else can.
Yeah. And they're not right. Like
Right.
it's just not a good
You don't know
description.
shit. Yeah.
Right.
okay.
You don't know. You got a very, I don't know. You just entered my life at a weird time.
Right.
So this is all to say, I'm going to talk about this era and how he met his fiance, because I'm part of the story of how they met.
Right. That I know.
So I've told you that story. And then I asked her sisters, I was telling this story about how they met, and the sisters were like, we didn't know that. So in my mind, I was
How
like,
do they think they met?
right, what
No one ever
story
asked
is the fiance telling?
Right.
What's Ruthie saying? And now,
Interesting. I feel like that's a good. That's our story.
right, this
story.
is why I'm so,
Did you ask them what her version was?
I'm going to text after we're done because I now need to know. So this is what my speech was going to be about. So my brother wrote into a podcast to ask me to be his best man. We both listen to the same podcast, the Tony Kornheiser
wow.
podcast, okay? Tony Kornheiser is the guy on PTI,
That's
Pardon
so
the Interruption.
romantic.
So he wrote in, and you can go listen to his email at the end of what's the date last Friday? So the end of last Friday's episode, which is the 15th.
He did a best man proposal.
Yes,
To you.
over the podcast. So you can go listen at
That
the
was
end.
probably how did he propose to his actual fiance? Was it more creative than that?
No, he just was like, "Hey, you want to do this?"
And then you got the like intricate.
yeah.
That's in our story page.
So
proposal.
he sends in. You can go listen to Tony Kornheiser. It's my favorite podcast. I listen all the time. It's like
That's really creative. I like that.
and I've been a guest on his podcast. I've been a
Okay.
guest on the podcast. So he wrote in, "Hi, I'm Jared Freed, who's been a guest on your podcast, brother." And Tony reads it, and it's all about him.
And that's
living,
how you found out.
I knew I was the best
Right,
man,
okay,
but like
yeah.
it is.
If you have a brother and you're not the best man, you've got a family issue.
Yeah, shit's off.
Kinda.
We're all judging. No one's talking, but it's
Kinda,
judging.
yeah.
So he reads this email, and the email is very thoughtful, but it also like kind of talks about things I planned on doing during my best man speech.
Okay.
Like it's basically the best
He
man
wrote the
speech I'm about to
speech.
give.
Okay.
And he sends it. So I listen to it. It's very sweet. I text the producer of the podcast that he wrote into. I go tell him it's a maybe. I included them in the response. And you can go listen to it. So if you want to go listen to it, you can go to the end of the podcast. It's one of the emails that Tony reads. So my brother sends the clip to the family group chat. And my dad writes me a text. He's like, this was unbelievable. That podcast, that letter he wrote. I can't believe it.
Wow.
Oh, my God. And I go, yeah, well, spoiler
He's
alert.
crying, he's laughing,
Right.
he's doing all the things you wanted from
my speech. And I go, well, spoiler alert. He kind of steps on my stories a little bit. So get ready to hear them again.
We're going to hear your version.
That's my point.
Yeah.
Is it going to be my version? I see my dad and he goes, well, you should just play that.
So your brother is giving his own best man speech.
Right. I go, do you sound, I go, do you know
Never
how
going to get any better than that.
Right. He goes, why don't you just play that? And I go, are you out of your mind? You think Harry's going to give his own best man speech at his wedding?
From his brother, even though his brother is a professional comedian.
Right. You want me to just press play? What are you talking about? He goes, he says it all
Does
right
he
there.
even
That's the
respect
whole
what you
story.
do?
Yeah, I was like, I go, and he goes, I go, beyond him doing this, me playing do you think that's going to work?
Right.
Do you think people...
How would that make you look? You would look awful.
It's the most insane thing. And he was serious. He's going, no, everyone would love it. And I go, yeah, they're going to love my fucking version that I'm telling. And he's like, no. I go, you think, I go, have you ever been to a wedding? Have you ever been to a wedding?
Sounds like your dad's been making a lot of suggestions that aren't hitting.
It's an insane suggestion. I go, beyond how stupid this suggestion is, do you think all these old fucks are going to be able to like connect what's going on? Like, do you think they're going to they're going to be like, why? What's playing?
Right.
Like, this
you need
is-
to have
it-
so much context.
Right. It's not going to work. Whatever, like
Are you sure he said it in a serious way? He wasn't just saying it as like a joke?
it was complete. He was mad that I didn't think I should play it.
Wow.
Like he couldn't believe, he's like, I just don't know what else you could even say. It's all said there.
Wow.
I go, well not
maybe he
everyone
can-
there has listened to this podcast.
Maybe he can play it at your wedding,
Right.
right? He's already set.
Right. I mean, and honestly, he did kind of step on what I'm going to do, but I have to count on that the 200 people at the wedding that has already passed.
I'm sure none of them have heard this.
Right. They haven't heard it. That's kind of my point. But
No offense to
it
the
did
guy
kind
who
of
showed
ruin my speech. It kind of, dim my light a little bit. The problem is with being a comedian giving the best man speech is also I'm going to have to deal with eating it. Like I can only be a best man speech. I'm not going to get up there to make it about me.
Right.
That would be insane. I'm not going to get up there in my clown wig and my clown nose, wonka wonka, ha ha. Like, I'm not going to do that.
Right.
Like, I'm going to tell there's an arc that I want to tell. Like, I want to have a normal, I think it would be
Speech,
funny
yeah.
just because by nature it would be funny, but it's, so I know I'm going to have to deal with, I'm going to do the speech. I'm predicting the future. And I'm going to have
This
have
is at
like,
the actual wedding, correct?
this is at the actual wedding.
Right.
And then I'm going to have I can tell you what's going to happen. Men are going to come up to me. Oh, I thought you were a comedian, man.
You think?
Oh, it's going to happen.
No.
It's going to happen. I can
No one's
either
gonna
be.
say that.
Because
That's so rude. No one would say that.
it's going to happen. It's going to happen multiple times. I'm going to have to hear how not funny my speech was, thought it was going to be funny, how the other one was funnier than yours, how you
Who
could
would
take
say
a tip.
this?
I am predicting.
Who's in
And then
your
me
family?
going, ooh, that was so funny. I know what's coming.
No.
I want a camera set up on
no
me.
one would say that.
Do you know how many interactions I have a day that are horrific?
But these are people that like are.
Yeah, they think they will
Edit.
think this is funny. It's like, oh yeah, I failed at my life venture. Funny. I know this is gonna happen.
I feel like if anything, the opposite. No, they're gonna be like, I guess that's why they pay you the big bucks.
I think that will happen 0 times.
Really?
And
family
I
sounds-
cannot tell you how wrong.
Your family sounds terrifying.
Yeah, it's all just a bunch of fucking assholes.
Okay. Well, I'm excited to
Play
see.
the fucking podcast as your best man speech. I don't even want to give it at this point.
You're gonna do it. It's gonna be amazing. Please.
My
please
original
record
idea.
the video, and then we'll play that on
fine.
benefits.
We'll play it on the. Yeah, that'll be a benefits. That,
Yes, we'll just play
Right,
that.
we
We'll
ain't
play
giving
the
that
actual
away.
thing. And
I'm
then
gonna
we'll see
tape
if
the conversations with people talking shit to me.
Tape that too.
It already
Hold on,
happened
say,
last
hold on.
week. I went to a party. Some guy, last weekend I went to a party. This guy goes, "You're Harry's brother." I go, "Yeah." He goes, "Oh, Harry, oh my God. You still doing the comedy thing?"
Oh no. Oh no.
And I had to eat it. You have to eat it. Like, I eat it. I don't go, "Yeah, Netflix special, bitch." That's not my response. I just go, "Yeah, still trying.
Right.
Still kicking it around.
It's so funny.
Hopefully one day I'll leave this this dumpster that I live in."
People just
Jared
say,
the Grouch.
people say stupid shit. I ran into a guy that I used to date, actually.
Really?
On the Long Island Railroad. He's a wife and kids. Lives on Long Island. I ran into him on the train. And he was like, "Oh, I heard like you sold the company." He's
Yeah.
like, he goes, "Congratulations." He's like, "Unless you like didn't want to sell it." And like, I'm like, are you implying there's like a hostile takeover?
Right. What?
Like, why don't you just stop there?
I think people are. I think being polite and nice is like sometimes seen as a negative to people. Like
Right.
just saying the minimum. Like,
Or maybe they
"Hey,
feel like because you're a comedian, they have to be quick.
oh yeah.
in
I
some
mean,
way.
I had a guy the other day. He came up to me. He goes, "What?" He starts taping me, and he goes, "What do you do for a living?" As he's taping me. Have you seen these TikToks? Do you know the TikTok I'm talking about? They just come up to you and start taping. They go,
Oh,
"What do you
I've
do
seen
for a
that,
living?"
yeah.
And I go,
People, you've seen one of those?
"It just happened
on the street
to me." And I go, "Why?" And he
Oh,
goes,
they're doing one of those things.
right. And he goes, I go, "For what?" He goes, "I put it on social media." I go, "For what?" He goes, "To spread positivity."
Oh no,
And I
you
go,
come to the wrong place.
I literally go,
Knocked on the wrong door.
Right.
Yeah.
I literally looked at him. I go, "No, thank you."
Who the fuck in New York City wants positivity?
Then I went to the page. I found the page.
Okay.
It's not like he's walking around the
How's he
West
doing?
Village.
How's he doing?
Well, also, it's not for positivity. It's for you to get views and for you to make money. So, like,
If he said that, would you have been?
I would have been
down?
more
Okay.
up for it. Yeah, it's for my page where I ask people what they do for a living because I make money off of it.
Right.
I go, "Great. Good for you, dude. Industrious fellow." Instead, I'm getting, well, I just don't like, I've done man on the street
yeah.
videos. You ask, "Hey, do you mind if I'm going to put this
What
up
did he
somewhere."
say? Actually.
He's just
Oh,
camera,
just in
right?
your face.
Right,
Oh,
right.
no. Fuck off.
Rolling.
Fuck off.
But then you go to his videos and they're all like, he's walking around the West Village. Like, they're like, "Oh, I'm a hat maker who makes $1 billion a year." You know, like, they're all like fun stories. It's never like, "I'm going to Dunkin' Donuts to serve coffee, you fucking asshole." Like, it's never that.
Right. Well, they don't post those.
Well, he's not doing it in Queens.
They don't
He's
post.
doing it in the
they
West
don't
Village.
post the weird ones. That's the thing.
I'm the weird. Well, then I was just stressed out the rest of the day. He's gonna post it. Look at this miserable guy. Oh, that's Jerry. He's a comedian. He had nothing funny to say. Where were the jokes, man? Like, I'm the dick.
No.
That's my big problem. Is like,
I think you're paying attention
hey,
to the
you're
wrong
not
people.
spreading positivity, buddy.
But
you're
how
making me miserable.
How many interactions do you have where people just say something nice and then keep walking?
More than I remember. You know, like most
Yeah.
conversations.
Most of them are like that.
And when they're nice, I feel so amazing.
Right.
Like I actually, like, some guy wrote me a message today.
Maybe you'll have a bunch of those after the speech.
I can promise you, it's going to be a bunch of fucking douchebags after the speech. "Oh, I thought it would be funnier." That's going to be the whole.
Why is the whole country club going?
Yes. A whole bunch of fucking assholes.
Well, I can't wait.
Can't wait for the wedding.
I can't wait to hear about it. It sounds like you're pumped. Speech sounds delightful. I wanted to ask your opinion.
Please.
Switching
I love
gears.
giving my opinion.
Did you listen to this week's oversharing?
Yes.
I wanted your opinion because I've gotten a lot of DMs, the heated DMs about the tuna.
So I thought you were talking about me
Oh.
because I'm a tuna hater. I don't like tuna.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So I like tuna.
Well, to give it a little
Yeah.
context on the Naomi talks about a triggering moment for her when she's on the plane taking my niece, her daughter, back from a volleyball tournament, and she doesn't like meat, and so she at the airport gets a tuna sandwich, and then these two ladies behind her on the plane are making fun of her for their daughter for eating the tuna sandwich.
I thought your sister was. She's deservedly triggered.
Okay.
Like, that's crazy that two adult women are laughing at a kid.
Right. Well, I think that's the most insane part.
That's
But
the
some
insane
people,
part.
I got a lot of DMs being like, "No, tuna is disgusting," and your sister shouldn't have allowed it.
I think that opinion's wrong. I do believe that like what you bring on a plane is everyone else's problem.
Okay.
So I think I've always thought that if it sticks to the wall, it shouldn't be allowed on the plane.
Interesting.
But your point of like, there's no laws against bringing tuna on the plane, so you can bring whatever the fuck you want on the plane. But would it be if it was bacon and eggs? I wouldn't. I like the smell of bacon and eggs.
Someone else might not. I hate the smell of bacon.
You hate the smell
I hate
of
bacon. I hate the smell. It makes me nauseous.
Really?
Yeah.
That is
I hate
crazy. But that's the thing. Like, that goes back to your point of like, it's widely eaten.
Right.
We live in a world where bacon might be on a plane.
And
I'll deal with it, and I'm not going to laugh at a child for bringing it on the plane.
If you're going to laugh at a kid, do it creatively.
Right.
Make a funny joke. The holding your nose is very like low level.
Well, the fact that I would be embarrassed. The mother looks back. You got to go, I'm sorry. We just thought it was so funny how much we are affected. Like, if anything, the two women should own that, like, we're fucked up.
Yeah, you should feel bad.
Right. But I think tuna on a plane, I don't bring anything. I bring a coffee.
Well, you're a professional flyer.
Right. So what would be my opinion of someone bringing tuna on a plane? Mm-hmm. I would go, I'm annoyed, but nothing I can do.
Right. Personally, I'm not offended by the smell of tuna. I kind of like it. Love tuna generally.
I don't like tuna fish. I like tuna the fish.
Oh, right. Your dad likes tuna, though.
Right. And his biggest disappointment is that I've never eaten tuna fish.
Right. So you're a good person to ask because you were actually quite offended by the smell of tuna.
But I live in a world where I'm with you. I listened to the whole conversation on oversharing, and I thought your point was the best point of like, if it's allowed, it's allowed.
Yes.
And
if that is so offensive, they would eventually make a rule about it. They wouldn't sell it at the airport.
Right. And it's like, to me, it's the same as the seat going back. When someone's like, can you put your seat up? Well, the seat goes back that amount.
That's the functionality.
Right. It's not like if it wasn't, if it was deemed unnecessary, it would be.
Right. If you're breaking the seat to make it go back further.
Right.
That's messed up. If the people who designed the plane allowed for the seat to happen, take it up with them.
That's the thing. I'm allowed to think that the person who puts their seat all the way back after I ask them if they could move it up a little, I'm allowed to think they're an asshole.
Right.
But I'm not allowed to say that they're wrong is different.
Right.
Like, again, I can think someone bringing, a trough of food on the plane makes them a pig.
You've never eaten anything on the plane? Like brought a meal in on the plane?
Generally, I do not. I can't say I've never.
Okay.
But no. I usually iced coffee that I make in the Sky Club.
Right. Well, you're in the Sky Club. You don't need to bring anything.
Well, maybe, if I was to bring a plate, I don't know. I don't know. I've never been like when someone's
bring a snack.
Some people
seen you with those RX bars.
That's a snack. Yeah, those
okay.
I'll bring
those aren't offensive.
The Think bar.
I'll give you that.
But like anytime I see like when people are like, "What's your favorite plane snack?" I'm like, I'm not a fucking kid. Like I don't know. I'm an adult.
And I think you've been flying so long that any kind of novelty of the excitement of a free plane snack is not
right.
It's not there.
Like it's either I eat it in the airport or I'm eating on the plane, whatever they give.
Right. Well, if you've DM'd me saying that you think tuna is offensive, I don't care.
Right. Well, you can't you can't. The thing is, you can't.
I wanted to go to the source of someone. I thought the person who flies all the time and hates tuna. You'd be a great person to say, are we crazy? I mean, it's possible. We're from the same family. Maybe we have our own fucked up, disturbing thoughts about these foods. That we need to be put in our place.
I don't think you're crazy. I think you're crazy that you're like, I hate the people who get offended by tuna. That was something you said.
Fine. Get offended. Right. Mike is offended.
When you said Mike, I was like, I think at a young age I had bad tuna, and it stuck with me.
Yeah.
I don't even like the word tuna.
Really?
Yeah. Like when I hear someone say like, "Oh, I want to scoop a tuna on my salad," it makes me want to puke for the rest of my life.
I love it.
Just that phrase.
I make like as a little snack. like I make tuna. I'll make it from the
Yeah.
can, and then I'll put in jalapenos, and then I'll put it on like a little cracker. And Mike
Yeah,
comes in
no.
and he's like, "This is disgusting.
Right.
I don't know how we're like together."
But then I think Mike is wrong for saying this is disgusting. Like when it's a widely eaten food,
yeah,
you have to understand it's your
I
problem,
think
not
ham is disgusting. He eats a lot of ham.
yeah.
Yeah. Do you like
Big
ham?
ham guy. I don't like ham.
Ham is
I'm not eating
disgusting.
ham on the regular, but
I'm-
I don't
yeah.
like. I'm not. I would not eat ham.
We've digressed
Is
from our
this a
dating.
podcast?
We've digressed from our dating content, but anyway,
I don't know.
That's
Like I would
us.
date someone who eats tuna. Would I like be happy they brought it on a plane? I would have a talking with them.
okay.
Like I would say to them, like, you're gonna bring that on the plane, and they were like packing
Yeah.
up their Subway sub, putting it on, unwrapping
I
it.
love
At
it. I love a sub. That's my go-to Subway.
Listen, that's not even bread or tuna.
Whatever.
just,
Fuck it.
it's just chemicals.
Living on the edge.
Now that we've offended everyone in the world,
Yes.
including my future sister-in-law,
Yes, we're gonna get a lot of angry people after this. We've said so much, and yet I feel like we've said nothing.
absolutely nothing. We have done nothing. It's been 26 minutes. Whoever's listening to this really enjoys this show.
Really,
We're
We
gonna do the
appreciate
show.
it.
We're gonna do the show.
we're about to do the show. All right. Do you have any
what do-
announcements besides this
I
wedding?
have so many announcements. Please, Boise, Idaho.
When's that show?
Someone DM me. Okay, I guess I complained about Boise not selling.
You
any
complained
tickets.
about something?
I'm not one to complain. Sometimes the DMs are just they don't realize how hard they hit.
Okay.
Okay, if you're in Boise, okay, if you're in Minneapolis, I'm there this weekend. Royal Oak, Michigan, I'm there this weekend. Those cities, those shows will be full and fun, whatever.
Great.
Boise, Olympia, Washington, and Vancouver. Those are 3 cities. I'm going on like a 3-city tour where it's just me alone in a theater talking to nobody.
Great.
I need people to come. Please come.
All of them equally.
Vancouver,
order.
I have a feeling that's just going to be a late buyer. Olympia, Washington, and Boise, I would love for you to come. I can't wait to see your cities. I'm coming a night early to Boise just to see it because I've never been before.
Nice.
I'm excited. And then I have San Francisco and Denver, which
Those are gonna be great.
those will be great.
Yeah.
And plus, I've added West Hampton. I've added Minneapolis.
West Hampton, 4th of July.
Pittsburgh,
Maybe I'll be there.
if I can get her enough seats. Columbus.
I want all the seats.
Los Angeles, I need you. I know that it's the Netflix is a Joke Festival. I'm part of the festival. I'm coming to LA. It's a big theater. There might be other comedians doing shows that night. Come to my show. Mine's ready.
Fuck
okay,
those
they're going to be
guys.
fucking around. If it says "and friends" on the title, that means they have no material. I have material.
Yes.
So Nashville, Milwaukee. So this woman wrote me a message. She's like, people, don't blame Boise for no one coming to your show.
Ooh.
Blame your manager. And I go, and
Is she from Boise?
I guess so. She goes, because your show is the night before Tom Segura's show. And I'm like,
So
was this just to insult me? What do you think? I'm looking up what comedian? First of all, it's the day before. What you're telling
Yeah.
me isn't that you can't come
You
because
could
of
go to
Tom
both.
Segura. You could go to both. You're just saying I don't want to spend money for 2 comedians that week, which is fine. I don't need to be privy to
Right.
that information.
yes. Not necessarily
It's like-
sorry to tell you the reasons why you can't attend unsolicited.
Right.
Unsolicited.
Hey, I was thinking of coming, but I had a fart, so I don't know if I'll be able to make it. I get those messages sometimes, like you just like, hey, my living room, the cat won't stop running around, so wish I could make it. It's like, it's okay. It's okay not to come. If you come, you'll have a good time, I can say.
All right, let's jump right in.
Let's jump right in.
Okay. I'll read the first one.
I like this email.
Good one. Dear J&J, thank you for all your great advice. I love listening in the mornings while getting ready for work. Something about Jared's voice at 5:30 a.m. just really wakes you up for the day.
Wake up!
There you go.
There you go.
I recently started dating someone about 2 months, and it's going great. He's very kind, gives the sweetest compliments, and is incredibly hot. Send a pic. I'll be the judge. So he's so great about telling me that he thinks I'm beautiful, and that feels wonderful. This is the first relationship that I've been in since my divorce almost a year and a half ago.
Good for you.
I was married for 15 years, and that marriage ended pretty traumatically with him having an affair with my now ex best friend. Wow.
Wow, wish you sent that email.
Yeah, I would love to hear about that.
Wow.
Some of the let's call it feedback I received from my ex was that I wasn't great at making him feel attractive or valued. Basically, I sucked at complimenting him. My question is, how do guys like to be complimented? Jared, would you rather hear about how attractive someone finds you or how you make them feel? Jordana, what are some ways you compliment Mike? Can you give me some examples of things to say? Thank you. An uncomplimentary batch.
It's an interesting email.
Yeah.
An interesting predicament. You're not really, I wouldn't consider your ex who cheated on you with your best friend a good source for feedback.
It's not exactly your therapist suggesting that.
And they don't exactly, when they are trying to apologize for what they
They're trying to explain themselves. They're probably reaching. Yeah.
There's some reaching going on. And they're looking for things that get you to, as the French say, shut the fuck up. That is your goal.
I don't know if that would make me shut the fuck up.
But it basically,
I'll give you something to think about.
Right. It wards you off with a false morality dressing of you. And here's what you did to me to make me do this to you.
Right. When clearly it's not about that. No one cheats on someone because they don't get complimented enough. It's something a little bit deeper than that.
Right. She never told me I was a good lover. So now I went and fucked her best friend. Yeah, it's crazy.
Not the best. Consider the source.
How do you compliment Mike?
Well, I mean, Mike is not that big on compliments. He doesn't care that much if I'm complimenting him, I would say.
Right. I thought about this. Yeah. I had a think. I literally read this email and I go, what would I like to hear?
Okay.
And I'm not I'm not like, I don't need a compliment either.
You're not a words of affirmation guy, are you?
No, I the more I thought about it, the more I was like, I want to know. Here's what I would want to know as a man.
Okay.
And I thought about this a little bit. And Jorge, I would like to hear if you have an opinion on this, because I was thinking about it. I was like, because I'm trying to think of the last time I was remembering a compliment from someone I was dating or loved.
Right.
And
well, what do you like to be complimented by anyone?
Well, that's what I was thinking. And I was thinking, as a partner, the thing I would want, I think, and it might be very male, I think it is that I'm providing, that I'm doing, that I'm fixing, that I'm a solution to a problem. So when it comes to physically, do I get my person turned on? Do I get my person off? Are you
doing the job?
Am I doing the job? And I think that, when you think of compliments of of a man, a good, hearing you're a good father, a good, person, you're the reason things kind of
work around here.
Here. I think those have been the ones that feel the best. Jorge, does that speak to you at all? Because I was wondering about
it. It does. Yeah, that makes sense to me. I think the most value that I feel in my own relationship is when Marina says, something you did made me happy. That is really what brings me the most satisfaction and makes me feel the most valued.
Right.
Which goes along with what you're saying.
Which goes along, a beginning, middle, and end. There was there's satisfaction in the... And when I hear from women the compliments that they get,
made me happy.
You made me happy. Yes. You made me achieve happiness. You did it.
Right.
When you did this, it created this. Math. It's very engineering.
Interesting.
So because I was thinking about this, because I was like, I don't give a fuck if someone's like if someone who's fucking me says I'm hot, I'm like, yeah, cool. Right. I know.
It's funny. I feel like women are much more interested in that.
Right.
It's funny because I think you sometimes we compliment the way that we want to be complimented. So I'll always be to my you are so cute. Oh my God, you look so hot. And that doesn't really do much for him.
Right.
Which is funny because it kind of goes to what you're saying, but maybe I need to switch up my own complimenting.
Right.
Yeah.
I think you look hot is not as good as you make me so wet.
Okay. I think that's implied though, isn't it?
Sure. I don't think I'm not I need these compliments. I'm just saying when do I feel, because I'm not going to take, both can be true. I'm not going to take her ex who cheated on her's word for it.
Right.
But maybe I will say.
It's a good question, though. Because I never really thought about it that much. Do men like to be complimented differently than women?
Yeah, it's I think it goes to the provider element of it all. And it's a very caveman, I don't know, you killed the lion well, I don't know. It's I had a minute with this email where I was like, I guess I don't care to be. You look sexy in that suit. Like, that's nice.
Right. You'd rather hear how you're getting things done.
Well, then I was thinking, maybe, what's the problem that was in their marriage and what is this person referencing? It's like, if you guys are physical, I'm bringing
maybe
it to
it's a need to
physicality.
feel needed.
Right. And if you make someone,
again, not that any of that is her fault. Sounds horrific.
yeah, no, I'm not blaming her. I'm thinking of the times where I've been with someone who made me feel not great. And I'm like, when have I not felt great? When I felt like I was disappointing them. And I think that's anybody. I don't think that's exclusive to men, but I think it's like, I think achieving is like a big
How do you
part of it.
compliment an achievement?
I think it's production. Like you achieved making me feel happy.
Okay, so not like an achievement in the traditional sense, like
No.
congrats on your promotion.
No. It's it's
You made me feel.
right.
you-
You made
right.
this happen.
Interesting, because I feel like when you do that, part of me would think like, oh, you're making the compliment about me, like I've made it about myself.
No,
Like,
I
I'm
wouldn't.
like, congrats on making me feel this way.
Well, it's kind of like, how does ego work?
Mhm.
We via the emails we receive here, we know that the male ego is a problem in a lot of these issues. So it's like, how do we use the problem to become our solution? Like when I hear like you made me feel good when you said these things, I'm like, yeah, I did.
Right.
There's ego at play. Like I did that.
Got
Whether
it.
that's
To
true or
frame
not,
it as an accomplishment.
right. I think that's helpful. Again, this is something I've never thought of
Right.
until reading this email. So I can saying it out loud kind of feels weird, but
No, I think it makes sense. I think we can all try to incorporate that more.
how
into
would you
our-
want to be complimented? Like
I think that's a good question. I guess having I'll take a compliment however one wants to give it.
right, well,
I think
a compliment's
like,
nice.
yeah.
As we said, like after the speech I give.
I think a
after the
compliment
best
that
man
makes me
speech.
feel special.
Right, a thoughtful compliment.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, that's why when her question is like, can you give me some examples of things to say? Like, no, a good compliment is a personal compliment, is like so personal to the specific person that you're talking about, that to tell you like you should tell him he looks great. Like that doesn't tell you anything because you don't know about that person and what they pride themselves on. I imagine people like to be complimented in ways that make them that feel aligned with where they actually feel they're doing well.
Right.
Do you
Well,
know what I mean?
well, that's the problem with like, we talked about this on a past episode. The idea of like, they're nice. Didn't we talk about like
Right.
they're not? It's like, ugh, the worst thing that
Right, you
anyone.
don't
if
want
I
that as a
die
compliment.
and someone was like, Jared was a nice guy, I would turn in my grave.
Right.
I
You want to
would-
be known as a funny guy.
that guy improved my life with the amount he made me laugh. Production.
Yeah.
Like when she writes, he's nice.
Right.
He's very kind, she wrote.
Well, it
Don't
kinda
say
shows,
that.
It shows you. Well, it shows you how you again, like where you pride yourself on. I think like that's something that only you would know about your partner.
Right.
What is he? What do you feel if you really know someone? What do you feel like they do well?
Well, this is, and to bring this back to like dating apps, like if you're noticing when people ask what's a good opening line on a dating app, well, how about you talk about the thing they made, their profile,
Right. No one can tell you that because no one's seen it's so on a case by case basis.
and it means you took interest. It means you cared. It means that you were turned on by something they posted.
Right.
The fish picture that gets a lot of shit referenced in my Netflix special, 37 Single Out Now on Netflix. When the fish picture, I understand why it's become a punchline, but like if you looked at that and you were like, I just went on a boat last week and had the best boat party. Where
work.
was this taken?
yeah.
Now you've, just by noticing, it's a compliment.
Mhm.
You've elicited a memory from me from your picture in the most narcissistic way. You go, yeah, they like this picture. There's a narcissism
Right.
in looking at it that way, but
Yeah. No, it's interesting.
it's,
Yeah.
and listen, I think also, I can tell you know, not to keep bringing it back to the best man speech, but like what I expect to happen. Why I expect negativity is because I believe people are very self-conscious at their core. And the most self-conscious people bring it on to you when they see you do something maybe that's more confident than they think they could be. So
that's a very insecure person.
Right. And I have to say that to myself and not lash out back at them when they go, oh, I thought it would have been funnier. I guess you thought fucking wrong, dude.
Right. Well, those people can't compliment.
Right. I think it's hard for people to compliment. Some people see compliments as a show of weakness. And I don't abide by that. I actually fight against that. Like when someone says they left their job. Well, it feels like you're giving away a power. You feel like you're giving away like your power to like your judgment is your only power in this situation, which is pretty bad. Bad.
Yeah.
I mean, whenever someone leaves their job, they're like, I left my job. I go, congratulations.
Well, same thing with a divorce, right?
Congratulations. That's my first answer. You did something very difficult, leaving a marriage, leaving a job.
You wouldn't do it unless it really needed to be done.
Right. And I think that's like something I think a lot about it. Like it's a perspective you have to like, you know, force yourself towards because like, aw is a shitty response.
Right.
I go on stage all the time. I start my show. I'm 39, never married, no kids. Aw. You hear it every now and again. I'm like, I found the shittiest person in the room.
Right.
Fished them out. So.
It's all to say.
Have I been talking too much this episode?
No, you're good.
Okay.
You're good.
Just let me know. I'm hungover. I didn't want to drink last night.
Any compliments that every man will love?
Yeah, that's a huge dick.
I was thinking that. Okay.
Your balls are perfect proportion to your penis.
I'll have to all try that one.
Right.
Have you gotten that one?
Your cum tastes good. I don't know.
Have you gotten that one?
Here's the thing. I have gotten a compliment. The compliment I've gotten on my penis was like, it wasn't big. I could have looked. It's why I started referring to it as a strong medium.
Okay.
Because I remember one woman I was with, she was like, it's just
the perfect size.
It's just right. And I took it positively. I could have taken it negatively.
I mean, I think that's good. What did you want to hear? Like, it's so
Girthy.
big that I can't even deal with it. I've got to leave.
I wouldn't mind that.
No, I think that there is a such thing as too big.
That's what every woman says to their medium-sized penis boyfriend. No, I've seen too big.
It's true.
Show me. I'll decide whether it's too big for me.
I think every woman believes that, actually.
I get that. Well, we never talk about the vagina size. Big
That's
vagina.
True. Yeah, there's
from
many.
Curb, like.
Yeah, she's complaining about the small penis.
Right. This
big
is
vagina.
Big vagina. Yeah. I don't know if I've ever seen a big vagina.
I feel like you wouldn't see it; you would feel it more. Right?
I guess I've never like gone down
and
like
my
head fell in.
Here.
I didn't like have like. Whoa!
Right. Well, have you ever like had sex with someone and felt like there was just a lot of space in there?
I think that was always like the idea of like
not tight or something.
Right. The tightness thing, I always thought was like a douchey thing that men thought would like get at women.
Right.
Like it always felt like it was a false premise.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's funny just being like never having had sex with a woman. I have no idea what you only really know your own.
There's differences. I don't think no two vaginas look the same.
Okay.
You know, they're like
all
like
unique
a Warsaw. What do they call the ink blots?
Right. And you interpret you interpret them in your own way.
Right.
Okay. So you have a big penis is the universal compliment, but it has to be real. If you don't have a man who doesn't have a big penis, I feel like knows.
Right, you can't tell a short guy is tall.
Right,
that's a problem.
It is. I think that's why I'm saying a good compliment is personal.
Yeah, like I guess that's why I took it so positively that the woman that I was with that one time.
It felt like not something you would say to everyone.
Right, and.
That's why I always tell Mike, it's like, if you're going to give me a compliment, I want something specific.
What if Mike was like, I don't want you got a great vagina?
I'll take it.
You'll take it.
I'll take it. I want something that's specific to me. I don't want you look great. I want
you should see this woman's clit. You at a party.
No, I want like, I love the way your hair looks tonight.
Right.
Or your ass looks great in that. I don't want like, you look beautiful.
Right.
I want something specific so it feels real, so it feels authentic.
You want it. Yeah, I get that. That I mean, that's all.
All compliments.
All
If someone tells you your show was great, it's probably not as great as that joke.
Whoa! I'll take.
No,
Yeah, right.
That's nice, but you'd prefer, I'm sure, like that joke you did, the way you landed it at that exact moment.
Right.
That was unbelievable. That feels like a real.
They really
compliment.
watched. They enjoyed.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I think a good compliment shows that you really know the person and you're paying attention.
you ever seen balls that were too big?
No. Again, I'm not like, I don't, what's too big?
Not a ball queen.
What's the difference? Like, they're not like really like,
I guess
doing
they're
much
only
for
too
you
big if you notice
sexually.
them.
Right. Or
Right.
fine, if they're as big as they want to be. I don't think there would be an issue if they were too big
Right.
or too small.
Too small would be weird.
I don't know. Depends how small.
Little
I guess.
peanuts. Marble balls.
I'm not. Maybe that's too small. But like, also, again, like the penis is like has a function
Right.
for you, right?
Right,
The
right.
balls, their size doesn't really like impact the pleasure.
Yeah, I guess not. Unless you like the, like I guess if balls slapping.
I guess, unless balls in particular are your thing.
I don't think women have things. All fetishes seem to be male
Men?
exclusive.
I think they're definitely more male.
right. Like I've never met a woman with a foot fetish. Have you? Like, have you ever even heard of
No.
it? Or maybe
guess
they just
not.
don't talk about it. Am I talking out of turn? There's got to be women with foot fetishes, but you just don't hear about it.
I feel like our fetishes are more like psychosexual. They're more like they want you to act a certain way
right.
rather than like have a certain physical attribute.
Dominant, like that
Right.
type of thing.
Yeah.
That's fair. Yeah. All right. You can send in your sexual fetish to uup@betches.com.
Let's.
If you're a ball queen.
Yeah, if you want to tell us your ball, you love huge balls, let us know. I could be wrong.
I would love to hear from a woman who loves huge balls.
Please write in.
All right.
Big ball lover.
Also, let's do some awkward encounters. J&J, longtime listener, YouTube subscriber. Jared, I've seen you live a couple times, most recently with your new special in Charlotte. Brought the group chat and laughed so hard. That's a good compliment.
There you go.
Your balls seemed medium sized. No, I was listening to the most recent pod yesterday. I was listening to the recent pod episode today of the lady with a cheek hair, and it reminded me of my worst, most awkward encounter. One summer, I worked at a boating company, and I had a huge crush on my coworker. Part of the job was taking small groups of patrons on sunset cruises around the beautiful lake. So when my coworker and I were assigned to do this together, I, of course, always over-romanticized it. One day in late August, we were riding the boat back in from a cruise. The sun was setting over the water. It was a warm evening and a quintessential summer moment overall. Not to mention, my feelings for this guy had only grown stronger over the past few months. The way the boat was set up, we were kind of separated from the other passengers, and we were chatting about our day. At one point, he leaned over, brushed my chin, and tugged on a stray chin hair that was attached to me. It did not come out, of course. To consider that the chin hair was like blowing in the wind or glistening in the sunset haunts me. But how else would he have seen it there? Anyways, we both looked in each other's eyes, absolutely terrified. He said, "I thought it was an eyelash."
Oh my God. Didn't even have the respect to just pretend it didn't happen.
Right. Yoink! We never spoke about it again. We finished the 10-minute ride in dead silence. I hopped out of the boat, ran to the bathroom, and plucked the hair. We never spoke about it again. To keep my dignity at the time, I convinced myself it would have been a romantic, intimate gesture if he wiped an eyelash from my face like he originally intended during a sunset cruise. So he must have had a crush on me. Wrong. I hope that wasn't me. That was her.
I would have thought that
too.
Yeah. Why do you like just grooming women that you're with?
Right. Brushing a eyelash off of a woman's face is a move.
Touching someone's face, I think, is a romantic gesture.
Yes. Hey,
Any
you got,
way that you're touching their face.
hey, you got a hair on your chin. That's what you say when you're not into someone.
Exactly.
Like, yeah, I'm with her. I don't think
If someone's
she's-
like wiping something from your mouth, or
Right.
doing, like you've seen that.
that's
like
sexual.
yeah.
That is
Any-
flirtatious.
you would never touch someone's face in that way.
Hey, you got something there. Gotcha, Nana. Like you,
Yeah, I guess unless you're a grandma
Right.
trying to remove something from her grandchild's
grandma
face.
can do it to grandchild.
Yes.
Anyone else, that's sexual.
Two people of heterosexual people of the opposite sex touching each other's faces is
Hey, you
romantic.
got a little something there. Gotcha. Let me get you fixed up. There you go, Mom. No.
Wipe my lipstick from your cheek.
I hope that Jordana or Candace can vouch for the fact that some women just have one stray chin hair that seems to pop up overnight if you're not vigilant. It's safe to say nothing ever happened between us, but we did get married on the same exact day last year to different people. Oh, what a...
Not that she's following along or
Right.
anything.
Right, what was that woman's chin hair like? Sincerely, the hair on my chinny chin chin. Love the
Okay.
sign off.
Well, to
Have you, can you...
to validate her experience, I think that again that was a very romantic
Mm-hmm.
gesture. I know many women have stray chin or face hair. That's not
What?
I've never gotten there. I've gotten a hair like on my breast, which I have removed.
A breast hair?
A breast hair.
On the nipple or on
No,
like...
on the outer area.
Really?
Yeah, that I've removed.
Just out of nowhere?
Out of nowhere.
Like a mirage. Like
Is it a mirage?
a mirage?
I
What would it be?
guess.
Like an oasis? Like an oasis
Yeah,
in
I
the
don't know
middle
what's
of the desert?
from. I mean, it was like it was random. It was weird. I've seen it, but I know many women have them on their face. I do not.
That is fucking disgusting. No, I'm I'm kidding.
It's a thing.
No,
Yeah.
listen, the idea
There's
that
people who get their like upper lip waxed or their chin waxed.
I get it. It
Yeah.
exists. It's like tune on a plane.
If someone had a long
Chin
cheek
hair?
yeah.
I would laugh about it. It would be funny.
Would you try to?
If I yanked
it?
at it thinking
Yeah.
it was an eyelash, I would laugh forever.
Okay.
I'd feel cringy. I'd feel horrible that I did that. Like, I want to make sure she knows that guy felt weird too.
Yeah,
like,
I'm
like
sure.
it wasn't like
The moment was gone.
he's not going home and like, can you believe this fucking
I mean, depending how
the
old.
Wicked Witch of the West with a chin hair?
Do
You
you
know,
think
like
even if he's like 16,
I think he's embarrassed. He's like, oh my god,
I tried to make a move and it was very weird.
and it wasn't an eyelash. Like
Right.
he's more obsessed with I fucked up than
If a
this
woman had a
bearded
chin hair,
woman.
red flag or deal breaker, chin hair. I think we've done this.
Nothing.
Okay.
It means nothing to me. I'd suck on the chin hair.
Love it.
Candace,
Send them over to European Wax Center.
Right. Wow, I was just there.
Yeah, I mean, you're a guy.
I need
who-
a refill on my back wax.
Yeah. Okay.
I've been getting
It's summer-
freebies
summer's
for a while.
Summer's coming up.
I just got a back wax.
Time to
and
pay the piper?
Right.
Why
I
don't you
think
do laser?
This is brought up a lot. I kind of like getting my back wax. I kind of like the
I've
fresh
never
up.
heard anyone say that before.
You know,
You
I
love getting your back.
not
waxed.
love the act. I love having done. Like,
I feel like you'd like laser though.
really?
Yeah, it's less painful. You still have to go a few times so you could get your fix.
Well, the minute we get sponsored,
Yeah, any
but like
laser
most
companies.
of the things I own in my life, they were also
right.
once a
I mean,
sponsor.
we've all been to your apartment, so we know that.
I went to get my back wax, and I had to take an Uber because I was like running late, and the guy dropped me off at the wrong European Wax Center, and like I got out
Is
of
there
the
a
car.
difference?
There's like 10 of them.
I know, but like, can't you just go to the one he dropped you off at?
I didn't have the appointment there.
Okay.
So then I was like, fuck, I gotta order another Uber, and then the same guy, and he picked me up. And the first time you get dropped
Same
off, you're
guy,
just
wow,
like
okay.
dropped off anywhere. He just went from European Wax Center to European Wax Center. It's like, yeah, bro.
the sightseeing tour bus.
Right. It's like
Of all
this
the-
guy's getting his back waxed.
Anyway, I recommend laser. I've been
Maybe I'll go for it. Yeah.
unless you like excruciating pain. I don't know. Wax is
Maybe
don't-
that's
I don't
my
like that.
fetish.
maybe it is. All right, let's do an Are We Dating?
Yeah, maybe I'm not going to get European Wax Center freebies anymore. Are we dating? This is our favorite
Yes.
segment.
And our last segment, I want you to know that Candace told me that the people have been voting and they agreed with me.
Really?
I just thought you should know.
On the YouTube, I saw the poll being taken.
It's also on Spotify.
It's on Spotify, it's on the Instagram story, it's on YouTube. I
Mm.
think you're winning on YouTube, but I think that's also because you tend to jump in the comments. People have fun in there.
They know you're
I'm
watching.
Yeah.
It's not truly anonymous.
They're not trying to.
I am
They're
all
not trying,
up in that
they're not
YouTube
trying to get
page.
blocked on YouTube.
Right. No, don't mess with the beast.
But Jordana is winning on Instagram stories and
See-
on Spotify. But I also wonder if everybody listened or if it's immediately Jordana's right.
No, I don't get. I don't get the benefit of the doubt.
No, and I think also it was a difficult one because it was so, as we talked about last week,
Uncommon
it was an uncommon flip of the
of the
question.
gender stereotypes that we usually do. On
and the
show.
person who usually writes in.
Right.
You
that
know?
too. Yeah. Usually you would imagine it's usually the person who's less interested that would determine if you're dating.
Right.
You go to the less interested person to define.
And right. And the more interested person usually, or the less interested person isn't usually writing in.
Right. That's the other part.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm wondering if this loser wants me.
That's kind of what the email was like. Yeah. All right. Let's do an Are We Dating?
Mm.
But man would never write that in because he would never care if he was
Who?
right. He would never take the time to wonder if he was hurting someone by not dating them.
I think he would.
Well, he wouldn't write into a podcast.
Well, yeah, he wouldn't.
Hi J&J, longtime listener of the pod. Thank you for making me not feel so alone as a 30-year-old woman single. I have a current situation that I would love your feedback on. I matched with a guy on Bumble about a month ago. Due to traveling and our schedules, we haven't had our first date for about 2 weeks, but consistently texted during that time. First date went really well. We had our second date about a week later. We have plans for a third date this week.
Ooh.
The day after our second date, I was at dinner with my friends and was telling them about him. They asked to see a picture, so I pulled up my Bumble app to pull up our convo and his profile. I realized he had since deleted his profile. Although he hasn't mentioned anything to me, I can't help but think he deleted the app to focus on dating me. I can only assume, but I don't
This
think
person, their parents hug them a lot.
I can only assume that he is stalking me.
Right. He's absolutely in love with me. There's no other way to think about it.
I can only assume.
Right. I can think of 17
Other
other
assumptions.
things that might be happening, but okay.
I can only assume, but I don't think he's dating anyone else. I do like him, but I'm really hesitant to jump into a relationship or be exclusive with someone due to past experiences. Is this something worth bringing up? Does this guy think we're dating? Or am I just reading too much into this? Are you supposed to have a conversation about when to get off the apps? Looking forward to your words of wisdom. XO, a bumbled bitch.
I like this. We always talk about like the cynical and the romantic.
Right.
This person has leaned way more romantic than cynical.
Yes, it's like, slow down there.
Right.
Slow down. It's so funny, like how we are the stars of our own show
Mhm.
and we assume everything is about us.
Right. Deleted the app means he's in love with me. He's
Right.
done it for me.
People delete the app. I mean, when I was on the apps, I would delete them every week
Right.
and then I would delete them and then I would re-download them like 3 days later.
Right. That can happen. Or you can be someone who's married, meet someone, delete it so you don't get caught by your wife. Like, not to bring up
The worst possible.
right,
You're taking a
of the
break.
scenarios, taking a break.
You're enjoying. You're dating 3 different people off the apps, and now and you feel like it's a little too much, so you're gonna take a
Right.
break. That's probably the most likely scenario. You're
Right,
dating a bunch of people, and you're like, all right, I don't need this thing. I'll see how this round goes.
We definitely horrified this woman. It's like,
I mean, is that not like?
no,
yeah.
I deleted the app to concentrate on these 3 very nice people.
Yeah.
And that could be the case. And I think you're not dating, to answer the question.
Right. Agreed.
You're not dating. You saw something that he didn't present to you.
Yes, it would be different. This would all be different if he came to you and said, "I've deleted the apps to focus on this." That would be a different
Totally
email, different question. He happens to delete the apps, and you didn't realize.
Right.
Is not the same thing at all.
It could be, and I don't even think it's
like
healthy to even dissect why he deleted the apps.
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
All that matters is he didn't tell you.
Right. You're like, I'm just like, if I was your friend, I'd be like, you're setting yourself up to be blindsided. Like
Right.
when someone says, I was blindsided, he deleted the apps. It's like, no. You weren't blindsided. You looked into things a little too romantically,
Right.
which is okay. Maybe it does work out. And I hope it does.
Well, it's like 2 things can be true at once. He could delete the apps and he could not be into you. Like,
or he could delete the apps, be into you, and the other 2 women he's seeing at the same time.
Also true.
So
Right. There's a million different. It's like if someone said, like, if you found out that he hadn't slept with anyone since your first date, like, that could mean he hasn't slept with anyone because he's so obsessed with you. Or more likely, it could mean he just happens to have not slept with anyone.
right. He's lacking options.
Right.
You're the only one who would sleep with him.
Potentially.
Yeah, we're laughing and having fun with this, but I don't mean to be like Mr. Miserable, turd in your punch bowl. Like,
Well, it's funny because she's like made herself turned off by a scenario that hasn't actually even happened.
right? She's like, I'm not even looking for anything. How could this be? This guy's coming on so strong.
he's
It's like he didn't
obsessed
do
with me.
shit.
Right.
Like just yeah.
It's funny. I feel like, would a man ever interpret that in that way?
No,
If
I
you,
would
if
never.
You if you went to go look someone up on the app and realized
That they deleted it?
Would you be like,
And we were about to go on our third date.
yeah? Would you be like, oh, she must be like
it wouldn't be
obsessed with me?
no. I would never consider it my problem. That's what
Right.
she's doing. She's considering his actions her problem, and
Mm-hmm.
it's like if you're dating that way, you're gonna be like really. It's gonna let you down.
Right.
If you just consider your own feelings and your problems are your problems, and
Right. You don't have to do anything with this information.
right, go out again, see how the third date goes,
Yeah.
and
Are you supposed
or-
to have a conversation about when to get off the apps?
No.
Only if the reason that you were getting off of them is something you want to
it's for the other person.
Right. But if you happen to delete them, it is not the same again as having a conversation about them.
Right. It's interesting. Like this isn't even bad or good. I think it would be different if she was like, I went to the apps and he had all new pictures.
That would
Then-
be more of a sign.
Right. I'd be like, oh, he's like still fishing,
Right.
and you're a fish you caught.
Right.
So the deletion is, it could
Neither
be
good nor bad.
Right. It's nothing.
Right. The updating is not the best.
Not a good sign.
Yeah.
Chances are slim.
Something to put in their file.
Let's play some games.
Let's do it.
UUP at Betches.com, UUP at Betches.com. We're going to play some Red Flag Deal Breaker, everyone's favorite game. I love this one.
The best.
He asked you to do his laundry as a favor. This was DM'd to our Instagram over the weekend. I just got a message from a guy that I went on a date with. I have not been to his apartment. Red flag or deal breaker.
All right.
So
Well,
you'll be...
I'll be her. You be
yeah.
him.
Could I ask you a huge favor?
Haha, what's up?
You're going to think this is so random. I had to leave because of my flight, but left my laundry in the wash. Could you go to my apartment and put it in the dryer?
Oh my
Sweating
God.
face emoji.
This is insane. This is a deal breaker.
This is the most...
This is crazy. One date? One date.
This
I
is
would
the
feel like
most-
very bad about saying that to someone I was dating for like 3 months, 6 months.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
Let me try and get inside the mind of the murderer.
Okay.
This is the most older guy, single, whose friends have already gotten married and moved out of the city thing I've ever seen.
You would do this?
No, I'd say the laundry is gone. I'd call the super.
Or your friend,
Super.
maybe.
No, I have no friend to do this. I'm saying that
You
because
went on
I'm this
the
guy.
person you went on one date with. That's insane.
This is insane. This is too comfy cozy. This is
right.
too...
Rewash the clothes when you get home in their mildew.
Right. Hey, super, put it in a garbage bag. I'll rewash it when I'm back.
The fact that you didn't have the shame.
Yeah, that's the problem. It's you need
more shame.
way more than this.
How many dates would it take? They live close. How many
We'd
dates?
have to have fucked.
Okay, but that could be after that could have been after one date or 2 dates.
One date, fuck no. 2 date, fuck no. No, I'd have to be with this person.
They'd have to be your girlfriend.
Right. I'd have to be with them.
Yeah.
How about you?
I think I would have to be with them too, or it would have to be strongly leaning in that direction. Unless they I'm trying to think. If they lived in my building, maybe
That
4 dates.
That's a big part of this. Never been to my apartment.
Yeah.
So does he know where you lived? Are you even living close to each other?
You're sending me on errands for you. We
Right,
just went and met.
No.
Oh no, I think actually no. One date in any scenario, deal breaker.
It's a deal breaker for me.
Yes.
Also, this is where it begins. You're now learning the type of person they are. What? I just asked you to go pick up my laundry. It's like,
Right.
what? What do you mean
Yeah.
you just asked me? I have a life.
Also, clearly you don't like me enough to not want to ask me to do you a favor. after the first time we've met.
Yeah. Some people are just ballsy.
You
like
don't care
this.
enough about what I think about you.
Right.
Yeah. There's nothing actually more irritating to me personally than someone asking me for a favor where the relationship is not at that level for them to ask me for a favor. I mean, you must get this a
Yes,
lot.
it happens.
Also, I
Yeah.
think maybe like because of the industry that we're in or like the kind of stuff that we do for a living where you like
Right.
create content. I think that like asking me in particular for like a favor when our relationship is so far away from that level of like me like being someone who would want to do something for you is I think my biggest pet peeve, my biggest ick, as I would say.
Right.
For,
And
any gendered person.
the problem is that like, this can happen with people that you used to be able to do this for. Like sometimes that relationship has run out. Like sometimes people come to you for things and you'll go, we're not there anymore.
Right.
We were there.
Yeah. We haven't spoken in years.
Right. There's no context here for me wanting to help.
Right. And
you
now
at
you've put
all.
me in a position where I have to say no to you, which is
And
almost
be the bad guy
Right.
to like, and I have to believe that you think I have to live in a world where you think our relationship is still at that level.
Or you don't think it's at that level and
And
you
you're
don't
taking
give a shit
advantage of
about
it.
making me feel weird about
Right. You're
this
taking
request.
advantage of that. Like,
Yes.
yeah.
To me, that's like my biggest.
You probably got this more than me.
I get this all the time. Can my cousin applied for an internship? I haven't spoken to you in 6 years.
Here.
What?
Here?
Yeah. Like,
6
could you
years?
put in a good word? Like, I get like all sorts of
Yeah.
things along those lines of like, I have an idea for a podcast or something. It's like,
Yeah.
we are like, and there's certain people, again, if you speak very frequent, can I come on the show as a guest? There's many, there is a level of like friendship or like closeness where someone could ask that and it wouldn't be weird. It's not like no one can ask that. But if you don't understand the dynamics of like the relationship and like how close you are, and if this is more of a bother to the person than it's not, to me, I find that very irritating. Maybe it's because I get it quite often.
No, you definitely get it more than me, but I know I've experienced this,
Right.
to put it mildly, and it's frustrating.
Because then you're in the position of either now I work for you, send me their information, like, I'll pass it along,
Right.
or I just have to be like the bad guy who's like, oh, we're like, I have to turn you down and I have to feel shitty about it.
right. Asking is never seen as shitty. Saying no is seen as shitty.
Mm-hmm.
And you're always in the position of saying no. You always have to be.
Right.
Yeah, that's what sucks. But
Unless I don't say no because I feel too weird about it, and then I'm like doing my research to get them into the hands of the right person.
well, hey, can you get my laundry out of the thing?
Yeah.
No. Okay,
Right.
well, when's our next date? Like, it doesn't really
Never.
go that way.
Right.
Never.
Candace.
This was the one that I had to respond to her to fill in because it was like a Sunday morning. So I wasn't going to reach out to you guys and like do a quick
Okay.
FaceTime.
Did you tell her it was not a deal breaker, Candace?
No. First of all, I asked like, are there no landlords or friends in the area before asking you to finish his laundry? And she said no. So that's where I told her I would like take it up to you guys. But she did say I was going to go out with him again, but I think I'm done after this. I don't even know what to respond. I suggested a service fee or maybe the TaskRabbit app. But
Right.
how
I would
you
say
guys have
I'm not
responded?
around.
'Cause
Sorry.
It does make you seem like a dick move.
Say it again.
It makes you like it puts you in the position of being a
That's
dick.
what I'm saying.
Like
It puts
you're saying.
you
So,
in the
like,
position of
how
you
would
either
you
have to like.
because that's where I was like,
Right.
I would have been like, hey, I'm busy. Sorry.
That's what I would have said too.
Hey,
I'm not
sorry,
around.
I'm not around.
Yeah.
Wish I could help, but I'm not around. I'd be
Yeah.
nice.
I wouldn't ask them like. I wouldn't like problem solve it with them.
No. Wish I could help, but good luck.
Right.
And
It's
then
not like
never
if it
see
was
them
like.
again.
What if it was like my apartment's on fire?
Wish I could help.
Could you?
Wish
Could you go and put out the fire?
Wish I could help, but I guess the dog's dying. Let's do another.
Let's do it. Okay. She's got a very successful career. Red flag or deal breaker,
Deal
Jared?
breaker. Get rid of this
That's
bitch.
real setup there. I was gonna go on
Successful woman. Ugh.
I was gonna go on a second date, but then I found out that she's got a 401k.
What?
Hi, J&J. I'm 38 and newly divorced. I have a very successful career with a job that can be seen as intimidating for a woman my age to have.
I hate this question.
I kind of do too. And I know
It is
know
such
exactly where
a
it's going.
thing in the dating world that I get. This has
lot
been
of women
hashed
think this.
and
Yes,
rehashed, and
yes.
I'm going to give an answer that no one's going to listen to. So I'll just go fuck myself.
All right. The show's over. He left.
I'm out.
No, he didn't. Okay. I'm not ready to date yet, but I can't help but wonder, is it true that men are intimidated by a successful woman? Looking back on dating before my marriage, I did see some of this. During my marriage, my career skyrocketed. I'll be entering the dating pool with an even larger job title than before. Part of me is hoping at my age, men won't be as bothered by a successful woman like immature men in their 20s. Jared would specifically love to hear your take. Thanks.
I don't know if anyone ever has listened to my take on this.
You've said your take on this a lot.
Well, here's the thing. It's like I can't tell her how to feel. So when she was in the dating pool before, I am sure there were men that didn't handle hearing your career stats well. Just like there are men that don't handle many things well.
Right.
The idea that when this question is proposed, it gets proposed as if this is like a catch-all thing for all men. And my answer is never clear enough because I'm like, yeah, you're going to find men that are self-conscious, just like the way I'm going to find women that are self-conscious.
If they're insecure about that, right?
Insecure.
Yeah.
You're going to find insecure men no matter what. So, and what this is a very glossy way to like shame people for their insecurities. Like, and I don't like, I'm not going to defend the men that are insecure by successful women. I'm just going to go, they exist. Like and they're not for you, obviously. Right. You're also going to find men that are incredibly turned on by your success.
Right. And I think the thing is, though, also, it's like oftentimes if you are a very successful woman, you're looking for, and I don't think this is as true for men. I think very successful women are looking for very successful men.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that there maybe is a higher, it's hot. I don't think it's not hot for a woman to be successful, but I think it's hotter for a man to be successful. And if you're a successful woman and you're looking for a successful man, that man has you as an option and everyone who's not as successful.
Right. It's a tough way to look at it. But
I think there is a truth to it.
I think there's a truth to it. And I think also you're probably similar personality types. So you
Also
probably are like two
assholes.
Two assholes. Yeah, two pieces of shit who are tough talking, fast talking, hot
Got
shots.
things to do.
You know,
right,
two hot shots doesn't usually make a couple, just by nature.
Right. And I think that's really what maybe makes it maybe in some ways hard to date if you're successful. It's not that
Right.
everyone hates successful women, thinks they're pieces of shit. I think it's that one, your pool might be a little bit lower if you are looking for a successful man. Because
Right.
again, I think that success not that successful woman isn't admired, but I think it's more admired in men. And I think that that's just societally kind of a thing.
And it's, yes. I mean,
And then it's also the personality thing.
yeah, it's just way more nuanced than this when it gets talked about on podcasts gets credit for.
Right.
Or on TikTok. It's like, I'm too successful for these pussy men. Like, no, again, there's like a million combinations
that
that go into it. Like, I don't know. I think it's hot when women have like a great job, cool career, like cool life.
Yeah.
That usually, again, you probably, when you were dating your CEO of a company, you probably had men that were like that got weird.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I run betches.
Well, it's like it's not a match.
It's not a match.
Yeah.
That's the problem. It's like this shouldn't. The answer to this is I'm encouraging you not to hide who you are and how great you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Say it classy. Say it
Right.
in the
And
right
it's like,
way.
right.
But
How
like,
are you
say
talking?
it.
How are you talking about it?
Right.
That's another. I think that is another part of it. Another question of it. I don't think anyone likes it for either gender. Someone who feels like they're putting off an energy of being too successful for
Braggy.
you, or braggy, or like I'm so busy I don't have time for anything because I'm so busy. I don't like that
Right.
in either gender.
And this is a little bit there's a socioeconomic thing to this. Like, you might like to do really nice things, and you might meet a guy who's not able to do those things.
Right.
And he feels self-conscious that he can't do those things. Like, those work
And-
into it.
Right.
So,
And I think societally, it's more socially acceptable for a man to take a woman on a vacation than a woman to take a man.
Right,
It might
and
make a man feel worse than it would a woman in the same situation.
right. And also, it could even just make anyone feel awkward. Anyone, male, female. Hey, I want to go to Turks and Caicos. Okay, great. Let's look at hotels. I don't know if I can swing it. Well, I would love to take you. Is different than, there's a
Right.
way to serve these things. I have the ability, and we're a couple, and I just want us to go, and I think we'd have a great time. And, it really doesn't matter. You get the dinners, I'll get the hotel. I know
Would
that
you be cool with that?
if that was the discussion we're having, I'd be like, totally. I would be like, well, what? Let me look at some other island options.
Okay.
like
Well, that's the thing.
where
I
I can be a part of it. But
Right.
that's called the negotiation of life.
Right.
This idea. You're gonna go on a date with a guy who's self-conscious about you being this hotshot woman. That's going to happen.
Right.
Doesn't mean all these men are intimidated. I just hate the phrasing, the intimidating. It's just such a not helpful thing to talk
Right.
about.
Well, it's not about intimidation, I don't think. I think it's about a bunch of other things. It gets labeled as intimidation
Mhm.
because it's sort of more flattering to the person who's asking.
Right. And it turns into this woo-woo, yes,
Right.
queen moment.
When really I think it's about like a numbers situation potentially, and it's about like the way you're presenting your success for anyone again.
Right.
And societal and unfair societal expectations. I do think there's a little bit of that.
Oh
in there.
no, how will I date a woman making $1 million a year? I don't think that's going on.
Right, but you said, but it might show up in other ways.
Right, it could.
Right. Where you might feel like you're just, you don't feel good about yourself because you can't bring enough to the table in your mind, whatever.
Right, and listen, every Miranda story
It's about that.
is about that.
Yeah.
Like every Miranda story on Sex and the City, like Steve, the whole
Every
relationship.
Steve issue was because he couldn't afford the tux.
Right.
Yeah.
And you go, and when you watch them negotiate, it ends up in this sweet story.
Right. Until they get divorced because she leaves him.
Right.
For Che.
She's not coming back next season, or they aren't coming back next season.
I heard.
Yeah.
I heard. The people have spoken.
I guess so.
All right.
Let's
Let's
do
one
one
more.
Okay, Jared and Jordana, do I have a red flag or deal breaker for you?
Ooh.
Hot off the presses. This person's great. I'm still giggling over these texts from literally that past half hour. Here's the background. I met up with a guy from Bumble for a coffee date on Saturday. Went pretty well. When we ended it, I was definitely interested in seeing him again. He texted me after. We texted the rest of the weekend, just normal conversation. It's now Sunday night, texting slowing down a bit, mainly because I'm waiting for him to make a plan for the second date. He teased me about my height, to which I replied, "You'll have to make it up to me for that comment." Screenshots for what happened next.
This is hysterical. I'll be her. You'll have to make it up for me. You'll have to make it up to me for that comment.
Like how? Have you stick out your tongue, slap my cock on it, tease you a little by sticking my finger in your mouth?
I don't think we're looking for the same thing. That's a great. I think that's a great response if someone is sexting you out of nowhere.
Great response, but also like he went right in.
Well,
Welp, that's really embarrassing, but that genuinely wasn't intended for you. So sorry.
I don't know what to say.
Yeah, me neither. Like straight up, I'm very embarrassed.
As you should be, LOL. Okay. I have to say, I'm slightly relieved that you don't actually think that's a normal way to talk to someone you met for coffee once. Ha ha ha.
Oh my God, that's insane. I'm dying inside. I'm really, really sorry that this has happened.
And then she likes that comment.
Thumbs up.
Well, I hope you have a cock slapping time with Brenda or whatever her name is. I'm just kidding. LOL. I hope this hasn't ruined the mood for you two. LMAO.
He writes, "I want to die."
No, you don't. So
Let him off the hook. I mean, like, no, you don't. Fuck off. He fucked up. It's a really, if this is him lying, it's a great lie.
I mean,
Like, if you
just
send-
to see if she would be
If she was
into it.
down, right? Like, if she was like, well, you have to make it up for me, that comment. Stick out your tongue, slap my
kind-
cock on it, tease you a little bit, stick my fingers in your mouth.
Do you think maybe he is lying?
So
Because
there's
she says
two-
like how, and because she says you'll have to make it up to me for that comment, and the first thing he says is like how.
Right. And for the listeners at home, if you're not, are we going to put this on Instagram? So we'll put this up. But he starts with like how it's one text. And then the next text is,
Yeah.
have you stick out your tongue, slap my cock
That's what
on
I'm
it.
saying. Part of me thinks this was meant for her.
Right. Well, there's two ways.
I just think the like how is response to what she's saying, unless the other person he said also said something that would.
I guess to let him off the hook, you'll have to make it up for me for that comment. That could be from anyone. That could be from the person you sexted with.
It could be.
You
I guess
have to make it up to me. Like how?
Right.
Like you would. Again, very
I don't
quick
think-
lie if it's a lie.
part of
He
me
would be
thinks-
maniacal. Like,
Right. Part of me thinks that if it was a lie, he would have just said sorry and then maybe like left the conversation, like that,
Well-
like not kept going about how embarrassed he was.
He's either the greatest liar of all time, or he really made a mistake. So
Right.
that's I'm with you. Like, there's other ways to play this out.
Mm-hmm.
That is him lying. This is the most fabulous lie if he's told it.
Right.
So let's live in a world where this was a mistake.
Are people sexting while like speaking to other women at the same time? It's funny about Sex in the City. This was a Sex in the City episode, but because it's from like the 90s, it was Miranda on a phone call with a guy.
That she didn't know.
A guy she went on a date with, they were having phone sex,
Mhm.
and then he gets like a call waiting, and she finds out he's having phone sex with two people at the same time.
This is the 2024 version.
Yes.
I'll take it at his word. Let's take him at his word.
Okay.
Because it's easy to just be like,
fine.
this
I'll
guy's
take
a
him at his
liar.
word.
It does sound remorseful. Like the way he's like,
I think I'd be out. After one coffee date, I think the illusion would be over for me.
I guess it would be different if he had already planned the next date. Because she's like, I'm sitting here trying to get him to plan the next date.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
And then
Yeah.
he's like, how about, like if it was already planned and then you're going to have to make it up for me at this date.
Right. Well, that's like a worse version of what you said, what we were talking about before, where you change your dating app pictures. This is like a worse version of
Right,
that.
this is
It's
an
a little more in
admission.
your face.
I'm out there and I'm also
Fucking.
active with someone who's not you.
Yeah.
Right.
I think I'd be out just because it would be like, it would ruin like the emotional masturbation aspect for me,
Mhm.
which is part of
'Cause-
the fun.
Right. You wouldn't be able, you'd have to kind of too early
Have this discussion.
of like, hey, have you ended things with your sexting buddy? Like, you know that they
Right.
exist parallel to you with this guy.
Yeah. And also it's a little bit of a turnout, even if it's an accident, that you didn't care enough about our conversation to make sure that this didn't happen. There is something to that. It's like, if you were really, truly into me, like really excited about me, I feel like you would make sure this didn't happen.
Mm. I'm trying to think if it was be a deal breaker for me. Like, I know everything you're saying is
Mhm.
correct.
Right.
Like, it ruins a lot of
I think
things.
you'd like it.
I think I would too.
I think you'd be into it because you'd be like, okay, clearly this person is not expecting as much from me. The pressure is taken off a little bit. Right?
But would I date them? Like, would I,
Right.
if I was-
could you date them?
could I date them? I guess I could. I could be like, what's the
You
deal
could.
with the person you were sexting? Like, I
After how many dates would it
the
be a deal
next
breaker?
date, I'd need, it would be a fact-finding date.
Okay.
What's the deal? Who is it? What's your history? I could understand where someone's like, that's someone I sexted and we're kind of like ending. I don't know. There's a story,
I guess there's a story,
but I don't know if I
again,
would.
If I found out that they were sexting someone after our first date, I wouldn't care. It's really about the fact that it's kind of just ruined it.
It's in
for
your
me.
face. I
Yeah.
get it.
I don't think the act of I don't think he did anything wrong. They're not in a committed relationship.
No. It would really depend on me for like how much I really loved that first date. If I walked away from that first date being like, wow, it's like we knew each other 30 years.
Right.
And
It would ruin the
but I would need to go on a second date to see what the explanation was.
right.
So it wouldn't be a deal breaker for me
Okay.
because I'm thinking in the highest of terms.
It would be a deal breaker for me, but I wouldn't like keep going at him like this. I think like you could just like bow out. Again, he didn't really like do anything wrong by doing it. If we were dating and he did that, I think that would be a different story. But I would be like, all right, LOL, I would go back to my original statement of I don't think we're looking for the same things.
Right. I don't know. When he writes, I want to die, and then she writes, no, you don't. That'd be my deal breaker for her.
All right. Well, you guys can vote if you
Let
think.
me want to die. You know, let me be embarrassed.
Right.
Like, just don't
If
answer.
I say I want to die, I want to die.
Right. And it's like, then don't answer. Goodbye.
Right. That's what I'm
And,
saying. I feel like if I were her, I would just say like, oh, like, got it. I think I'm out, but like, good luck. And then I would stop answering.
I would stop answering after I want to die. If he came back and was like, hey, so that second date, I would
Yeah.
respect that he's the one that needs to like pick up the pieces here.
Right.
You saying, no, you don't. Like, what do you want? Like him to beg you to believe him? Like, it's over.
Right. What if? All right, never mind. That doesn't work in that
What?
scenario. I had a that's sort of like a female version of someone
Mm.
texting you something, like
I went to a comedy show and it was great. Oh, not you.
what? It wasn't meant for you. Or like,
Just saw this best man speech
or like,
that was really
oh my
good.
god, that's hysterical. I love you. I'm sorry, that was meant for someone else.
No, that's too crazy.
That's what I'm saying. But you're like that is it?
I love you. Well, no, if they text me, I love you. Sorry, that was meant for my mom.
I guess because that could go for anyone else.
Right.
I'm trying to. It would have to be explicit. It would have to something to be showing you they were much more into you than they were.
Mm.
I don't know what that would be.
Because there would be an explanation that you could.
Right.
The only thing this could be is that he has a sexual relation with
Right.
someone else.
Yeah, it's tough to think of an example.
The guy's quite a poet. Stick your tongue out, slap my cock on it, tease you a little by sticking my fingers in your mouth.
And she's like, no.
Gonna be a no from me, dog.
Do you think he then copied and pasted that to the right person?
Absolutely.
After.
Absolutely. He went back to the
He was
original
like, oh,
text.
oops.
And he was like, okay, let's continue. Like, that guy had hand on cock throughout that whole apology.
It would have been funny if he played it off as a joke, like, sorry, wrong text. And then he just kept going.
Well, we solved dating again.
We did it. Proud of us.
Have a great trip.
Have a great wedding. I can't wait to see all the footage.
I'll send you everything.
Yes.
And listen, thank you guys for listening. Keep on doing that.
Be back next week. It's been a long day.
I'm
Bye.
tired.
The You Up podcast is produced by Jorge Morales Pico, Sean Kilby, and Candice Maniga. Editing by Jorge Morales Pico and Shannon Sassone. Social media by Candice Maniga. Guest booking by Ali Friedlander. Be sure to follow at u.up.podcast on Instagram and send us your emails to uup@betches.com.